Hello and welcome to the final segment of Fact Without Commentary for the visit of President George W. Bush to the sovereign state of Israel. I am Aviva Lee, reporting from the International Press Center in Jerusalem for Israel 24/6 TV. The tarmac at Ben Gurion Airport was dotted with enclaves of political dignitaries, military personnel, and the members of the press who decided to travel to Ben Gurion to cover the president's departure. The flags of both sovereign states, Israel and America, were clustered in unison on the tarmac. And as the military band was present on the occasion of the departure of President Bush from the sovereign state of Israel, all troops were commanded to remain in formation and at attention with their munitions at their side. There was intermittent percussion drills and revelry was played. A convoy of helicopters appeared on the horizon just as Prime Minister Olmert and President Shimon Peres made their respective entrances to the assembly. President George W. Bush did in fact arrive to Ben Gurion Airport via U.S. Army helicopter. He was accompanied by a host of other U.S. Army helicopters. The President saluted the two U.S. Marines at the door of his transport when he left the helicopter, and he strolled toward the waiting dignitaries for a final review of the military troops assembled. Again, with President Peres on his right and Prime Minister Ehud Olmert on his left, President Bush was escorted to the line of waiting dignitaries assembled to see him off. Mr. Bush stopped noticeably when he approached Minister Eli Yishai and spoke briefly. Then, with his back to Air Force One, Mr. Bush addressed the press that was assembled. Mr. Bush remarked that he was hopeful that the peace process would move forward and confirmed that Condoleezza Rice would be visiting the area frequently. And with that, the President of the United States of America boarded Air Force One with his entourage and lifted off safely from Ben Gurion Airport. As the helicopters from the U.S. Army, which brought the President and his entourage to Ben Gurion, exited the tarmac, clearance was given for Air Force One to lift off. And it did lift off safely and without incident, even though it was just a few minutes behind schedule. I wish to thank everyone concerned with the implementation of the International Press Center for the coverage of the visit of President George W. Bush to the sovereign state of Israel. Those departments are, of course, the State of Israel, the Prime Minister's Office, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Government Press Office, the Jerusalem Municipality, specifically the Office of the Honorable Mayor Uri Lipoliansky, and the Jerusalem Police District. Thank you to one and all who accorded the press here the opportunity for high-tech, seamless coverage of the President's visit. Besides the staff of those offices which were present for the duration during the hours the center was open, I wish to thank Mr. Gideon Schmerling, media spokesperson for the Jerusalem Municipality, Mr. Danny Seaman, director of the Israel Government Press Office, and Ms. Sharon Goldhammer, also with the Israel Government Press Office. Finally, I wish to thank President George W. Bush for his visit here, and I wish him Godspeed and protection for the remainder of his visit in the Middle East. May he return home to the United States of America safely. And that concludes my live coverage of the visit of President George W. Bush to the sovereign state of Israel. I am Aviva Lee, reporting live in Jerusalem for Israel 24/6 TV. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.